What's going on, guys? This is DaWoblefet, and I am here with the first bit of my international challenge run from the Players' Cup to Qualifier. If you're curious in what sort of team I'm using, I'm basically using the modified version of what Desu used in the Players' Cup. However, I do have a team builder video that will be going up at the same time as whenever this video goes live. So if you're interested in watching that and learning more about the team, like what spreads I'm using and things of that nature, why I chose some of the changes I made, you can do that. But otherwise, we are going to go ahead and kick it off. And my IC team is empty, so let's go ahead and register the Pokemon. That'd probably be a good idea. Don't know why I didn't have this ready. Actually, let me make sure that they are, because a couple of them I had forgotten in Dynamax Candy, but it looks like they're all Dynamax Candy now. So we should be good. Go ahead and toss these guys up in here. Porygon too good! If Porygon's so good, why isn't there a Porygon 2? So this will be my first time in, like, I don't know how long that I've attempted to do some sort of live commentary over battles while I'm playing. The vast majority of the time, usually when I'm playing, I try to be like, I'm hyper-focused. Like, I plug in the game music, I have damage calc open, I'm like super, I'm like ready to go. I will just do nothing but focus, and I will try to focus really, really hard. But this will be a little bit unique for me. I'm kind of doing it for a couple of reasons. One, because I think it could be interesting to my viewers, because I typically do mechanics-related stuff, and battling-related stuff I think could be interesting for folks. And also, I think that it'll be useful for me to be able to go back and watch my matches. Recording them and having some ideas of what I was thinking at the time I think could be really useful. So let's go ahead and get this started. Alright, 1486, pretty low. Let's see what he's got. Okay, some random team. Krook, Unpheasant, Riolu, Turtonator, Gourgeist, and Kang. Okay, so this is probably crit stuff with Unpheasant Crocodile. I don't know how fast you could get with it. I think you have to use Night Slash in order to pull that off, so I'm thinking that he also has like some sort of Trick Room mode, like the Riolu probably is Prankster, Follow Me, things like that. So I think I'm just gonna do Dragapult Terrakion. I'm gonna have Rillaboom. Rillaboom will be useful for Crocodile in case it gets out of hand, because I could imagine that could be a problem. And then the question is, do I want P2 or Incineroar? I think I'd want Incineroar. I think Incineroar does better versus things like, for example, Gourgeist. I don't think I need P2 here. P2 I feel like could get like walled in an endgame. So let's think about here. So Riolu is Prankster, Follow Me. Turtonator, I don't know what it does. I think it Shell Smashes. And Gourgeist, typically I think those are only used for the Trick or Treat move, but it doesn't have any really good combos with that, so I'm not really sure what exactly is up with that. Kang has Scrappy probably, so I have to keep that in mind. Either has Scrappy or it has Inner Focus. So either can't flinch it, or I can't intimidate it, and it can flinch my Dragapult. So it leads Kang, Unpheasant, so he's probably going to set up Tailwind. It looks like that's what his plan is here. He's going to try to set up Tailwind and just sweep me. He's going to try to do that. But I think that he cannot stop me from just going for Beat Up and Max Rock Slide. He can get Tailwind out of this if he fake outs the Dragapult. However, the Unpheasant should not survive this, and this is like Chardy Berry, because Max Rock will set Sand, and then that will KO the Unpheasant. So we'll see if he can counter Dynamaxes. If he fakes out Terrakion, that would be best case scenario. Fake out into Dragapult. Okay. So that's not ideal for me, but I didn't have much. I could have maxed Dragapult and gone for Rock Slide. In fact, maybe that would have been a better play. But I do just knock it out in one hit. It's not Focus Sash. Okay, that's good to know. So what's the Focus Sash on this team then? if it's not Unpheasant, I don't really see anything else that really qualifies as potentially Focus Sash. Potentially the Ryolu. The Ryolu may be Focus Sash. Kangaskhan's Sucker Punch I don't think will knock me out. That looked like... I forgot if that was Life... That doesn't look like Life Orb plus Sand. That looks like just Sand, so... I don't think Dragapult is in danger of being KO'd here. Okay, he knows my items now. Probably going to try a set Trick Room, which is interesting because I think he would have had... or I would have thought he would have had the other guy in the back, not this guy. I've got Incineroar, which is really good. Do I want to switch to that? I kind of want to max Knuckle. We're still kind of low on the ladder, so to speak. He could Ally Switch here. That would be kind of bad. Well, let's see what he does. Okay, no Ally Switch, so this should be a KO on Terrakion, and this will give me a +1 attack on both of my guys. Max Knuckle. Let's see if he sets Trick Room. Trick Room would be the scariest thing here. However, I don't think Gourgeist has a way of critting Crocodile. And if it does, I still have Band Rillaboom in the back. Okay, he does go for Trick Room. But I have Incineroar and Rillaboom in the back. And I've got Dragapult out right now. I've chipped the Gourgeist, and I have one more turn of Dynamax. One more turn of Dynamax is really good here, because he doesn't really have anything that he can send out that threatens me besides Crocodile. It is Crocodile, so it should be Anger Point, so this should not... Okay, yep, doesn't have anything there. So I'm just going to go ahead and Hard Switch to Incineroar. And I'm just going to max... I'm not going to try to risk this. I'm just going to go ahead and Rockfall the Gourgeist, because Rillaboom should beat the Crocodile always. I expect it to be Crocodile in the back because of the Tailwind. Go up to Incineroar. I'll Intimidate his guys. Worst case scenario is something like a Will-O-Wisp, I think. Like I said, I don't think Gourgeist has a way of critting the Crocodile. He does Dynamax, so my Incineroar can take a -1 Life Orb Max Quake from Excadrill, so it should be able to do the same from Crocodile. This lets me get off another Parting Shot, so a Parting Shot back to my... Weakness Policy could be bad here, I suppose. Poltergeist. Okay, he's just... Okay, that's not a problem. That's good. That's a cool animation. I've actually never seen it. I've done tests with Poltergeist, but I've never actually seen it. Okay, Steel Spike, that should be okay. Even if he crits me, I should be okay. I'm not convinced the crit would have KO'd, which is obviously good for me. And going for Poltergeist there makes me think that he doesn't have anything better to do. Like, I think I would have Will-O-Wisp the Terrakion. Unless he really thinks I'm Lum, but I'd be shocked if he does. Okay, so he protects. He has also Poltergeist and not Phantom Force, which is important. So, Terrakion. But I don't think this matters at this point. I think I will go ahead and just take the KO on Gourgeist. I think, well, I don't know what Gourgeist can do, so I think I'll just do it. And I will just... I could Helping Hand and do that. I think I'll do that, and I think I'll... I don't think I actually want to close combat. I think I'll switch out to Dragapult and just sack it. Because I don't want to accidentally crit this Crocodile. And then somehow it... maybe it wouldn't be Focus Sash because it has to get hit, so I don't know exactly how I would lose, but... Okay, Rock Slide is a good way to lose. So I'm glad I switched out. That's okay. Steel Spike, he's going to get another defense boost, but it doesn't matter, I think. I think I'm way too healthy right now. So the question is, do I go Rillaboom and U-turn? I could also go Terrakion and Protect. The Gourgeist will faint on this upcoming turn. I think I'm going to go Rillaboom. Do I want to go Rillaboom? Yeah, I think I can. Let me think. Okay, how many turns of Sand are up? So I used Sand turn 1, and then turn 2 Dynamax, and turn 3. Then I switched. So I believe this is the last turn of Sand, so I think that I want to actually go Terrakion, because I don't want this this Gorgeist to survive. There should be, unless I miscounted, I could have miscounted there. Yeah, there is only one turn of sand left. Okay, that's important to know. So I will go ahead and, Burning Jealousy, it appears he doesn't have any wave healing, and I will go ahead and protect. He could just Rock Slide again, however, he's not going to get a KO if he does that, because he's most likely going to attack the Terrakion. Aggressive Glide, perfect. I did, okay. And now I'll just do a little bit of chip to Crocodile. Thankfully, I don't have to worry. This is all best of one. I don't have to worry about concealing information, so I can just do optimal stuff like that. So he's probably going to Steel Spike. Yep. So we should be good at this point. I'm trying to think of how he could potentially win. And yeah, I'm coming up short. I think I'll just Parting Shot in close combat. If I crit him at this point, he'll die, so I don't really care too much about that. And I don't think that there's any way he can knock out Rillaboom in one hit on switch in. He's got a Steel move, so he's got like Iron Head. He probably has a Ground move, probably has a Dark move. And none of those would just one-shot Rillaboom. If he does have a move that can one-shot Rillaboom, then he's going to let me get a close combat off, and then I'll have Fake Out close combat the next turn, and he'll be sufficiently low, so I don't think he can win. Unless he's Rindo Berry, but I don't think he would be. He might be the item that, like Key Berry, like when you hit yourself with Night Slash. Earthquake, yeah. Okay, you can't crit through this, and he's sufficiently low, so yeah. I took that really well. So now I'll get a close combat, Grassy Glide, and our close combat off, so even though he has all those moves, it doesn't matter. And he moved before me in Trick Room, so he is for sure not Choice Scarf. Like maybe use a random Choice Scarf, and then you like Dynamax, Night Slash, and then you have Choice Scarf afterwards. But that's not the case here. Even if it was, it would still die to Grassy Glide, so pretty straightforward win for us here. Shouldn't be anything to do. Yep. Okay. That was pretty good. I think I played that okay. I think I could have, I think maybe, technically speaking, I don't really know whether or not maxing my Dragapult and going for Rock Slide was optimal or not. I would have missed potentially, so I kind of like the play that I did because I didn't think there was a way that he could get around me, stopping him from setting up Tail. And like maybe you can go for Max Airstream, but so what if you go for Max Airstream? Okay, we got another guy. Let's see who it is. 1475, Chinese, I think. Looks Chinese. Okay, so he's got a random team. He's got Bouffalant, Comfey, Toxicroak, Lapras, Prim, and Zard. So doesn't look like he has any way of dynamically setting speed. So that makes me think that Dragapult Terrakion is really good here. Incineroar is very good in the back. I think also Rillaboom. And I think this will be straightforward. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to run a damage calc on Terrakion. So if I load up Terrakion versus Lapras. Oh my goodness, Picolytic. I'm using Picolytic's damage calculator, but it's not good. I'm sorry, Picolytics, it just isn't good. So it looks like +4 Max Rockfall should pretty easily get Dynamax Lapras, even if they've got a lot of bulk on them. Looks like potentially even Max Fighting could as well. I think this is pretty good. I don't really see how he stops this. Fake Out plus an attack won't work because I'll Dynamax Terrakion, so I'll be immune to Fake Out there. And unlike the last time with Kangaskhan, this Toxicroak, people always make fun of me for how I say it. Should not be too impactful. So it leaves Bouffalant and this guy. Makes me think he wants to go for grass stuff. like Sap Zipper stuff. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and beat up and max close combat a Buffalon. Don't really see how he stops this. He could Dynamax the Buffalon and go for a grass type attack into the Buffalon. I don't really know what grass type attacks Comfey gets. I'm assuming this is just some sort of combo there. I know Comfey doesn't get anything that's annoying to me. It gets like Floral Healing, which is bad, but I should be one-shotting his Pokemon, so Floral Healing will not be too much of an issue. He does Dynamax. However, this should definitely KO Buffalon. As he Dynamax Comfey, which would be strange, but yep. Dynamax Buffalon. Because they're likely going for some sort of priority boosted grass type attack. Probably Giga Drain, or Triage boosted, I should say. Yep, Giga Drain. So he's going to go for Sap Zipper. However, he does not have a Choice Scarf right now for sure. So I'm definitely going to outspeed him. So the only way he's going to be able to survive this attack is with either a Chople Berry, which I don't think would be that unreasonable, or maybe potentially a Focus Sash. I would be shocked if it actually survives this. Yeah, I'm also really happy, even with the Life Orb, Beat Up is just such a weak move. And Terrakion resisting the hit makes it so that it just does not take very much damage. It'd take about double this if it wasn't Dynamaxed, but Dynamax really mitigates that impact. I'll go for Max Knuckle. This should be a KO unless something strange happens. I didn't see a Chople Berry, no Focus Sash, so that's just a 1 KO. And so that's really good for us. Now we have +1 attack on Dragapult as well. So we have +1 Dragon Darts into whatever the other slot is. And we just killed his Dynamax as well, so neither Lapras nor Charizard nor Primarina can Dynamax, which is all really important. I don't really see any way that you can come back from this, because I have, let's see here, what's he got? Prim? Yeah, Prim's gonna die. I can't go for Dragon Darts here, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I have Incineroar and Rillaboom in the back, so like I say, I don't think that this is going to be too big of an issue. I'll go ahead and go for, I guess I'll go for Beat Up into Prim. I don't really think I'm going to need my Dragapult or anything else, so I'll just do that, in case Prim does randomly Focus Sash. Yep, Giga Drain is not going to do enough. He also did not Draining Kiss my Dragapult, so that's really good too. If you're curious about how Beat Up works, it hits for 1 time each in your party, and it hits in the order of your current slot order. So right now it would hit first Dragapult, then Terrakion, then Rillaboom, then Incineroar. And it uses the Pokemon's base attack, like their little base attack stats. So like Terrakion's would be 129, and that factors into the base Beat Up's base power. It doesn't use Terrakion's attack for the purposes of damage calculation, but it does use it for the purposes of calculating his base power. It's now I've set Sand, so if the Comfey did have a Focus Sash, it's not broken. He can heal back the full, but if I hit it with anything, it will just die. Let's see what he sends out. Lapras, so that's not really a big threat to me. So I'm going to go ahead and just Dragon Darts into the Lapras, and I'll go ahead and I'll Max Rockfall the Comfey. Worst case scenario is he goes for some attack that crits me, but yeah, it's pretty clearly over. He didn't have anything to stop Dragapult Terrakion, and I identified that from Team Preview. That's why I really like the idea of using Desu's team, because it just kind of like raffle stomps a ladder like this, which is what I'm aiming for. I'm not aiming to win the IC, I'm aiming to get to 1700. So those are 2 good wins to start off the day. Pretty straightforward matches. Okay, let's see what this guy has. Curtis, 1466. So we're still playing pretty low ladder. But this guy has a real team, so that's kind of scary. So yeah, Cinderace, Rillaboom, Lapras, Togekiss, Dragapult, T-Tar. Okay. So he has several Pokemon that want to Dynamax, and you can only Dynamax 1. That's important to keep in mind. Pichu doesn't look that good here. Rillaboom looks pretty good. Incin looks very, very good. I really like Incineroar here. How's Primarina look in Trick Room? Not the greatest. It'd have trouble beating the the Togue, T-Tar, and especially the Lapras, so I probably don't want to go that route. He doesn't really have anything faster than me, which is important. So I think Dragapult, Terrakion is pretty safe. He could lead like Cinderace and something else. That's important to keep in mind. I definitely want Rillaboom. Do I actually want P2 maybe in this matchup? Maybe like P2 Rillaboom? P2 Rillaboom wouldn't be too bad. If I want P2 Rillaboom though, do I want Incin? Because I don't really have great answers to the... I think I want Incin. And Rillaboom. So this might be a little bit greedy of me. Not having Excadrill is very good for me though. This is a Sand team without Excadrill. Also, the fact that he's 1466 with a good team means he's probably not a good player. Or he's using some sort of weird sets. Apologies, Curtis, if you're watching this video. I don't mean anything by that. I just mean, statistically speaking, having a 1466 ranking with a lower ladder like this. Okay, so he leads 2 Pokemon that are pretty bad for me, but it's not awful. So I have a couple choices here. So I could go for a... so he could Dynamax his Togekiss. That would probably be a scary thing to keep in mind. I do have Incineroar as a fairly safe switch in here. However, I don't really have a phenomenal way of like doing much after that point. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to go for Max Ghost and Rock Slide into the Togekiss and hope that KOs. He could Dynamax the Togekiss, that's one thing I'm worried about. And also, what I'm planning on doing is next turn I'll switch out Terrakion into Incineroar. And hopefully my Dragapult does not die from this exchange. I don't think he wants to max his Togekiss since, like I say, he has Lapras, he has his own Cinderace, he has T-Tar. It doesn't seem likely that this is a offensive Togekiss, but it could be. If I've learned anything about DGC 2020, it's that Pokemon Dynamax whenever they feel like it. However, he does not Dynamax, so that's really good. So as long as I hit my my Rock Slide here, I should be in a great shape. Because this will knock out the Togekiss for sure. There's no way that it survives this combination attack. Yeah, you can see almost a Max Ghost KOs by itself. So even if it has like a Super Citrus Berry, Rock Slide will definitely pick it up from there, even if it didn't have a defense drop. And this will do solid chunk to the Rillaboom. Let's see, don't miss. Okay, good. Yep, do about half to the Rillaboom. And so now I have a KO on Rillaboom if I want it, but Rillaboom is in a really bad spot. Rillaboom does not want to be here right now. Rillaboom would rather be anywhere else. So I have the option of going for a Helping Hand plus an attack into, like potentially if Cinderace comes out, I might do that. Let me go ahead and check to see how much Dragapult does to Cinderace with Helping Hand. It is Cinderace. So Sucker Punch definitely won't kill me, that's for sure. If I max my this guy and this guy is Dynamaxed. Looks like it actually KOs. Am I looking at this wrong? It looks like KOs. There's gotta be something wrong here. Aha, it does not KO, ever. Okay, so I think I'm going to go ahead and just max Airstream then, and switch into my Incineroar. And this will put a Cinderace permanently at -1, assuming the Rillaboom does not switch out. I assume he's probably just going to try to take the KO, and then probably try to go for like a max Darkness into my Dragapult. That's what I would anticipate here. Yep, there's a Dynamax. This should be on to Cinderace. Unless he's wild, he could go, but yeah, it should be on Cinderace. It's regular Cinderace, so he doesn't have max Pyro Ball, or if he does have Fire, then it's not the extra base power move. I mean, he's not gonna go for max Fire here anytime soon. So he does go for the Grassy Glide. Can't tell if that's banded or not. I'm unfortunately not smart enough. So I'll go ahead and go for an Airstream. This will kill Rillaboom. I don't really need the speed boost on Incineroar. What I'll likely do is I'll probably attack the other slot. I'll probably max Phantasm here He could Steel Spike. Steel Spike would be not great for me. Because I'm planning on using Rillaboom to clean up here. He does go for Darkness, though. That makes sense to me. This should not KO. I don't think so, at least. Yeah. Survived pretty comfortably. Incineroar takes it as a Death Drop, which is not ideal. But Incineroar is very healthy, which is very good. I have a free Fake Out onto the other slot if I want it. He can have one of Dragapult, T-Tar. T-Tar is probably worst case, honestly, here. I really don't want to see T-Tar too much, because I don't particularly want to stay in against it. I think I'm going to go for Max Wormwind. I think that makes the most sense to me. The question is, do I attack with my... Do I, like, Fake Out with my Incineroar? Do I Burning Jealousy with my Incineroar? I think it's probably pretty likely he goes for boosting move with his Cinderace. So Burning Jealousy would be really nice. That would just basically guarantee that I win the game. It also stops him from going for something like Dragon Dance. He's going to Rock Slide for sure. I think I'll go for Burning Jealousy. I could have gone for Fake Out into Tyranitar, but okay, I'm glad I went for Burning Jealousy, because that was another option. You can go for like a speed boost here. So I get a Wormwind off on this thing, which lowers the attack, which is very important. Because like the best thing he can do here is Steel Spike, because now he's put all his Pokemon into KO range of Rillaboom. Yeah, and he does go for the Airstream. Yeah, like I expected. I figured that was pretty probable. Dragapult may even live this. And I would Oh, he goes straight into Cinder. Oh, Incineroar. Oh, he messed up. That was a misplay. Because I already have a speed boost. So I still outspeed him, and I could go for Dragon Dart. Yeah, this Burning Jealousy is going to really hurt him. Because that was about his only way of realistically beating my Rillaboom. I also have Healthy Terrakion in the back, and T-Tar I think has to be pretty fast to outspeed Terrakion at +1. So, Incineroar. My Dynamax ends. I could go for Phantom Force as well. Actually, I like the idea of Phantom Force. I'll go for Phantom Force here. Or I mean, Darts would probably do enough. Honestly, because I think he has a defense drop, doesn't he? He doesn't. He just has a attack drop. I think Dragon Darts does actually do enough. So I'll go ahead and just do this, and I'll Parting Shot. I don't think there's any way he can win this. He can go for Max Knuckle, but I should actually KO him. And if I don't KO him, then it'll be very close to being KO'd. I do get him. So he has one speed boost. However, I have a Rillaboom in the back with priority Grassy Glide. I just need to make sure I time it so that way Grassy Glide doesn't run out. So, yeah, and I get a good hit on Tyranitar as well. Probably going to go for Rock Slide here. This should not KO my Incineroar. Never mind. Did he crit it? Yeah, okay. So we might actually have a minor issue then. Potentially, because unless Grassy Train runs out now, it doesn't. So he's gonna protect. So I'm gonna go ahead and let's make sure. I don't remember if Terrakion actually outspeeds. This is an important question. So if he's max speed T-Tar, so if he's 113 T-Tar, I think he definitely doesn't outspeed me. It's like if he's adamant. Yeah, if he's adamant, he doesn't outspeed me, but if he's jolly, he does outspeed me. So that's important to keep in mind. I'll just send these guys out. So I think I've got Superpower. Superpower would be the... I don't know if Superpower or Grassy Glide is optimal here, because like I say, I should be running out of Grassy Terrain this turn. Yeah, which sucks, but So I think I'm pretty sure I go for close combat and just superpower. The Tyranitar is at -1 still. So if he is jolly and outspeeds me, which he's not, so I just win the game straight up. If he was jolly, he could have outsped me. I'm surprised he actually didn't protect there. I could have gone for Grassy Glide and just guaranteed the win. I assumed that he, like, worst case scenario I thought was he was jolly. Actually, Grassy Glide may have KO'd the Tyranitar from there. That may have been a misplay. Yeah, like it might not. Obviously, Superpower KO'd. So let me just check that real fast. So if I pull up my good friend Rillaboom, and check out Grassy Glide. Not in terrain. According to this, with Choice Band, it would have done 50%. That doesn't make any sense. That should have done more, I think. Maybe I'm just thinking with Grassy Glide, it does play more. Oh, no, that's with the opponent Dynamaxed. That's not Dynamaxed, so. Grassy Glide, if it was Jolly, it probably would have been like 252, 252, 4. And since I had already hit it, like for 20, 30%, Grassy Glide would have KO'd even without the grassy terrain, so. That was a misplay. I should have locked into Grassy Glide there. That it wouldn't guarantee the victory, but it would improve the odds of victory because he would have to be Jolly, and then you'd have to flinch me several times. Okay. Do it. Richard, okay, above 1500, so he's won at least one game. Okay, T-Tar, Togue, a real team, PZ, Noivern, Exca, and Prim. So he doesn't really like, he really does not like Rillaboom if I can defeat the Togekiss. That's one important thing that I'm noticing right away. He has Noivern, which could be problematic. I'm not quite sure how problematic it actually would be. P2 looks okay here. Not gonna lie, it doesn't look really that good. Trick Room, I'm trying to think of how good Trick Room is here. It's not great if I can't muscle through the Togekiss, which I don't really think I can do. I'm tempted to just do the same thing again. Dragapult Terrakion. And I'll have, I definitely want to bring in Incineroar to this. I think Rillaboom. These guys have been working pretty well so far. Don't see much of a reason to change. I didn't know we had a Wailord as an option there. That's pretty funny. Okay, let's see what he does. Leads Noivern pre-Marina. Noivern and Prim. So this isn't ideal for me, because he could have like Tailwind. He frisks me. So like I could go for Max Phantom Force and Rock Slide, and that would put the Prim into KO range. I'm trying to think of what happens after that point though. I could also go for like Max Fly Rock Slide. He doesn't have his own guy, so I think Max Fly Rock Slide isn't actually that bad. He also may not Dynamax turn 1. He also may not be Sash, but I expect the Noivern to be Sash. This looks like a Sash on this kind of build. The Prim can only KO one of my guys here. So I think I'm okay with this. I don't plan on Dynamaxing either of my Pokemon in the back. Maybe Max Ghost would have been better, honestly, though. Maybe in hindsight. Because flying, all that really does is give Terrakion a speed boost, which actually isn't that relevant. So I think I probably should have went for Max Ghost here. Max Ghost would have guaranteed that the Prim dies to Grassy Glide. But I think Rock Slide, Grassy Glide would also be enough. Alright, he does Dynamax, probably the Prim. That's Pokeball, so probably Prim. Yep, Prim. Okay. So he's either going to bring Terrakion down to Sash, which is irrelevant. I don't care about that. Or he's going to KO my Dragapult. Okay, he's not Scarf Noivern, which is good. So now all dynamic speed faster than him. I'll go for Rock Slide. Hopefully I connect. This is an important Rock Slide to hit. Okay, I do hit. That's good. Get some good damage on Prim. I think he might go after Tracheon because he could fear beat up. Overgrowth, so he went after Tracheon. That's great. Yeah, I don't mind this. Oh, I didn't even bring down the Sash. Okay, so that... I think that indicates to me that he's not Expert Belt, at the very least. So I would have expected that to do that. Definitely not Life Orb. Okay, if I load up Prim... Could be like maybe... that should ordinarily bring me down to Sash if he's max special attack and he doesn't even get a boosting item, from what I can tell. So that implies to me that he is like bulky. Maybe he's like some sort of assault vest set. But it looks pretty bulky to me. But that's a good KO on Noivern turn 1. Surprised that he actually went for the attack on Tracheon because he knew that I had Focus Sash. So he can't go both Tyranitar and Excadrill here for obvious reasons. So he goes Excadrill, which is great for me. I am going to max Phantasm for sure, but which one do I go after? Excadrill protects. Everything is still going to be in Grassy Glide range, and he's not going to have any priority to mess with me. He could... one thing he could do is he could switch out, but... Like, he could switch Prim to T-Tar, but then he loses his Dynamax, so I'm okay with that. Okay, he just gives me the Excadrill as well. That's really important. Oh, and it just straight up knocks it out. That's great. So it probably was Sash on Noivern like I thought. And this Rock Slide is going to do a nice chunk to him. He could go for the... Actually, I don't even think he would KO me with Max Moonblast. Or it's not guaranteed at the very least. I have taken a couple hits of Life Orb. Yeah, I live this because he's not max special attack, and that was the reason why I wanted my Prim to be max special attack. For this specific reason, because otherwise Dragapult survives your attack, and that's just a big deal. I don't think he can come back from this. Yeah, PZ is not going to win him this game. Tracheon has a speed boost, so if it's Scarf Porygon Z, I outspeed it. I just go for max Phantasm and close combat. And so worst case scenario is he like protects Porygon Z and Primarina lives. However, then I have, again, fast close combat or fast Phantom Force. I have a Grassy Glide in the back, so I don't think there's a way for my opponent to win. Connecting the Rock Slide early on was very important. Okay, no protects either. So it does just a KO on Primarina, so that's good. Life Orb showing how powerful it is. And there's no way the PZ lives unless it's Focus Sash, and if it is Focus Sash, then I have Drill in the back. Plus I have these two which are faster than it, and it cannot KO both unless it's like Discharge. So it has to be like Sash Discharge, but yeah, even then he can't win, so. Excellent. Yeah, I think he made a really important misplay turn 1. However, I don't know really how much of a misplay, like how much it even cost him, given that I was able to, like even if he had Moonblasted the Dragapult turn 1, I still would have survived. So yeah. Seemed to have worked out pretty well there for me. So 4-0, that's a good start. I'll be breaking these up into smaller chunks, unless I like would just keep winning. Alright, 1577, so I'm starting to place decent players now. Okay, he's got Rillaboom, he's got Togekiss, he's got Cinderace, he's got Milo, and he's got Dusclops. Interesting as Dusclops. Okay, first question is, can he beat Dragapult Tracheon? He can. Can he beat Primarina in Trick Room? He doesn't like it that much, to be honest. But T-Tar is almost certainly going to be weakness policy here. Milo is pretty scary. Not gonna lie, Milo looks really scary. Cinderace looks kind of problematic, but not so much. I could lead Rillaboom plus, like, Dragapult. And U-turn. Because Rillaboom forces him not to mess with that. But that's not really great either. Kind of just want to lead these two again. I definitely want Rillaboom here. I think Incineroar makes the most sense for his own Rillaboom. Yeah, P2 doesn't look phenomenal because of the T-Tar. Actually, P2 doesn't look that bad, really. But I'm going to lock this in. I'm surprised at how... I used P2 a lot more on Showdown in practice, but so far I've just been kind of bringing my like big offensive mode and just going for beat up, which to be fair has been pretty effective so far. Just either threatening beat up or the Dynamax with Dragapult. Okay. Yeah, that's probably one of my scariest things I have to deal with here. Given that I'm missing one of his Pokemon, so I'm going to check. Rilla, Togue, Cinderace, T-Tar. T-Tar's missing. Okay. It's because here I really don't want to. Like I kind of want to max both, but I can't max both. Like, excuse me, actually. You know what? I can actually go for Max Phantasm and Rock Slide if I want to. It is safe to do this. He can't actually punish me for it. But I would take a lot of damage. However, I think I'm going to do so. Oh, this is going to be a really good turn for me. Togekiss? Yes! That's an important KO, because KOing the Togekiss here ensures that Rillaboom is going to have free reign, because he doesn't have any other sort of redirection. So my banded Rillaboom in the back is going to be able to just like click Grassy Glide over and over and over again. This is going to give him a boost on Milotic. However, this I could flinch him. That would be nice. But more importantly, it's just going to chip him really hard. This is going to just do a lot of damage to him. He did not expect me to just do this straight up, which I can respect. Yep, so you're going to get your competitive boost, but so what? As long as my Rock Slide hits, I'm in a great spot here. Rock Slide does connect, and this is going to do a good chunk to Milotic as well. Yeah, you can see it's almost a 2-hit KO. If I drop its defense again, Rock Slide would knock it out. Let's see what he goes for. Coil. Yeah, I figured he'd be one of those. Yeah, Coil Hypnosis stuff. Which means he probably doesn't have Protect, because usually they have to run Coil Hypnosis, Recover, Scald. You can drop Recover, but that would be kind of weird. So he dealt no damage to me. I got a KO. So that's like about the best you can ask for. Cinderace comes back in. Yeah, okay. The question here is, how do I want to properly mess with this Milotic? I could go for, like, Max Wormwind here into Milotic, and also go for Rock Slide. Could go for Close Combat, could go for Helping Hand. I actually like Helping Hand the most out of all of these. Yeah, I'll go for Helping Hand. Because I don't need to hit Cinderace or anything. And next turn I'll switch Terrakion into my Incineroar. So this should pick up the KO on Milotic and intimidate Cinderace. Oh, he switches out Cinderace again. To Rillaboom. Yeah, I don't really get what he's doing. This Mr. Milotic would have to survive the attack. Oh, it could if it Dynamaxes, but if it Dynamaxes, then he can't Hypnosis me. Ah! Grassy Seed. But that shouldn't matter. Oh, that should. Well, no, okay, he is Dynamaxing it, so... Again, I'm not, I don't think I'm particularly worried by this. Because he's Coil, so he's got to be Coil Hypnosis, because like that's just the set they run. And I'm gonna get a big hit off on it. I wish I went for a Max Ghost now, but at the time it seemed like a good play. It also means that his Cinderace can no longer Dynamax, which is very important. So that means I'm gonna have a yeah, that did a lot of damage. And I just don't see, he can't, I don't think he can KO me. Like, he can hit my Terrakion, but so what, I guess? I'm not really too sure what that would do for him. He is Hailstorm. What the heck? Come on. Alright. So I'm gonna die to that, but it's not really too bad either. I'm shocked though. I don't understand why this is Ice Move and Coil. So he definitely doesn't have Protect. That's for sure. So Hail will be set, but thankfully he switched in Rillaboom, so I will have the recovery immediately afterwards. Also, that's the only turn of Dynamax he's going to get out of this thing, which is very important for me. Okay, so a good question here is, do I go into my Rillaboom, or do I go into my Incineroar? I kind of want to save my Incineroar's Intimidate for later, so I'm tempted to go Rillaboom and, like, U-turn. He could have Fake Out. That is something that I kind of am ignoring right now, so... I feel like I'm putting off enough pressure on him, though, that he would not... Like he would probably Fake Out one of these, but I don't think he'd Fake Out both. Or, obviously, that makes sense. Okay, so this could go pretty poorly if he decides to be all gung-ho. He does Fake Out. Which one? Okay, that's good. That's fine. I'm okay with that. I get a close combat off on the Milotic, KO is Dynamax. And I still have my Sash. And Hail will tell me which Rillaboom is faster. Mine should be faster. Terrakion. My Rillaboom. Yep, that's what I would expect. His Rillaboom. And we can check to see if it's a speed tie, because we'll be winning 2 speed ties here. Okay. So it was a speed tie. I just won it twice, which increases the probability that my Rillaboom actually is faster. He also used Fake Out, so he's not Choice Band, which means he likely has no way of just one-shotting me, which is very good. So I'm going to do something I think that is very clever. I'm going to switch to Incineroar and Protect. And the reason I think this is so clever is, one, because it's freaking safe as heck, and two, because suppose he hard reads this. I haven't sent out Incineroar yet, so he may expect it, though. I haven't sent it in all game, and my log's been out all game. So he could predict this, right? And he could like Grassy Glide and High Jump Kick. But if he does that, then I'll have priority Grassy Glide into his Cinderace, and I'll knock him out. So I think this is very clever. I don't see how he can stop this. That's my Incineroar. An important question will be, though, what do I do on the following turn? Like, which one do I Fake Out? Do I just Fake Out Close Combat? Grassy Glide. He'd probably double the Terrakion if I were him. Like, that's what I would do. High Jump Kick. Okay, let's see if it's in Protect. Nope, he did predict it, but like I said, I should survive this. Yeah. And now he's a Fighting type, which I think is ultimately worse for him. Okay. An important question here is, does Fake Out plus Close Combat KO the Cinderace here? I'm inclined to say it will. But an important, perhaps a more important question is, do I need it to KO? Because I think I should go with my original game plan here, right? So I'm going to check out, does Rillaboom for sure knock out Cinderace if it is not that type? So yes, it looks like Grassy Glide does pick up a guaranteed one-hit KO on Cinderace. So what I'm going to do is I could go for like Fake Out and Close Combat, but that would go pretty poorly if the Cinderace was like Protect, which is pretty unusual. But all I can do is, I think, very safely do Fake Out plus switch to my Rillaboom. And unless I've miscounted Grassy Terrain turns, which is very possible and make me look very foolish, this should enable me to... Okay. I'm pretty sure Grassy Terrain is not over this turn. It should not be. Just Hail's still up, and he sent out Hail on the same turn he Dynamaxed. Or he sent out Rillaboom on the same turn he Dynamaxed. My gut was just telling me that we still had Grassy Terrain, but perhaps this was a bit premature. We'll see. Okay, so lots of recovery here. Incineroar is very healthy, which is very good. How many turns do I have left? 1 turn. So I'm going to go ahead and Parting Shot into the Rillaboom. And I'll go ahead and Grassy Glide the Cinderace. So he could Sucker Punch me. That would be annoying, but I should be able to knock out this Cinderace for sure. Even if it had a bit of bulk, it's been chipped, so it's definitely in KO range. So, okay, he does let me Grassy Glide him. That should be a KO, yep. And now he should no longer be able to beat Incineroar. Like, I have too many Pokemon left. This isn't going to do enough to me. Yeah, exactly. Things like that. I don't think I need to play optimally here to win, but I'm going to. I'm going to go ahead and switch into Drakion. Because the optimal thing to do here is Hail's over. The optimal thing to do is to switch into Incineroar and Protect. And then I get 2 close combats off and a Flare Blitz. So like he can actually, I think it's better to just close combat because he doesn't have priority anymore. And to be faster. Yeah, but he realizes that he is not going to be able to win this one. Banded Rillaboom also being really good there. If I was Rosen, since like Jesus was, I would not be able to do that play. Okay, we're doing really well. 5-0 and already in 1570s. That's a good start. Okay. 1671, so this is significantly higher. So this, thankfully, it won't impact too much. Okay, all right. So this is the. I was thinking about how to actually prevent this, and I don't know how. So, like how do I stop Trick Room from going up in these sorts of situations? Dusclops, Torkoal. Because he can like max guard Trick Room. That's the scary thing for me. I'm not entirely sure how to stop it. I do think Rillaboom is very good here. Incineroar is also phenomenal. I think this is a P2 game. I don't know if I bring Rillaboom up front is the question. If I had like Ally Switch or something, I would lead that. But I don't have it. I think I lead these 2 guys. The problem is I'm not pressuring the hat if I do that. And you can also just fake out Trick Room. I could do Rillaboom Tarak, but that's also not fantastic. Dragon Ball also isn't great, but it would force him to Dynamax, I think. So I'll do Incineroar. And do I want P2 or Prim? I'm gonna go with Prim. I don't think I should have gone with Prim, but I did. I went with that because, oh, I shouldn't have done that because I brought Dragapult. I'm probably going to try late game Dragapult him, so I shouldn't have done that. I should have done P2 because I could have reverse Trick Room. That was a poor choice at Team Preview. Hat and Lifer, that's what I would expect. So what this does is he's always going to do max guard Trick Room here. So I will burn a turn, which is important. So I always U-turn here, and I switch. I don't know what I switch to is the problem. Because, like, I don't really want to go hard in Incineroar. Maybe I do. I don't know what I'm going afterwards. It doesn't really matter. Actually, I think I'll go Prim. No. No, I'll go Instant, in case he randomly fakes out my Rillaboom. But this should be always Max Guard Trick Room. You don't know me. You don't know if I'm going to just attack you directly. Maybe I actually should have stayed in as well with my Rillaboom here. Ah, he does fake out. Are you kidding me? Oh, that is awful. Oh, how'd he know? He must have like K-Sub or something. Oh, that is not good. Yeah, shoot. Well, at least I did that. I'm definitely going to parting shot the Incin, that's for sure. But I'm going to take a big hit, and nothing really wants to do so. That's why I should have brought P2. I don't really want Rillaboom to take this hit either. I think he would... I think I would max Confusion the Rillaboom if I'm him. I'm going to switch out to Prim. No, I need Prim healthy. I'll Grassy Glide. And Parting Shot. This isn't the play I want to make, but... Yeah, was he switching Torkoal? Torkoal, yeah. Oh, this is potentially going to go really bad. I can't believe that he just stayed in front of me like that. He must be K-Sub. What? Okay, I died. Is he Life Orb? Why isn't he Dynamax? And he has Magic Bounce. Of course, I actually don't want it to be Magic Bounce here. Well, maybe I do. I don't mind it. So this is going to tell me his last. Because he's not going to go Life Orb here. Because then he wouldn't be able to break Incin. So he's almost certainly going into Gigalith here. Rillaboom, okay. I wish I had my own Rillaboom right about now, but I do not. So I will definitely go Prim here. He will not expect me to be the berry. He's just going to go for, like... even if he goes for Wood Hammer, I will survive this. And I'll take an important KO on Rillaboom. And then I will just go for the Parting Shot into Torkoal here. He's going to think... He's probably banned, or... what is he maxing? Is it Rillaboom? It is Rillaboom, huh. What is he... Is he going for, like, Max Quake? I underspeed this. Oh, I probably should have Parting Shotted the Rillaboom. Honestly. But this seems good for me. He might go for like Body Press into my Torkoal or into my Incin. That'd probably be the worst case scenario. That'd probably be the way he does the most damage. But I think Parting Shot is still pretty good here. And then I set my Ice, which removes the terrain. I'm not sure if he'd be slower than me or not. Oh, okay, he's Earth Power. Let's see if he specs. I did a lot. Oh, well, he's not specs. Okay, Parting Shot. He's going for some sort of grass move into my Prim, that's for sure. But he can't Dynamax the hat anymore. So I don't think this is actually that bad, but I had to Dynamax my Prim, which is why, like, I guess it would have been better there than having to go P2 and take the hit, but... Okay, he does go for Quake. So my Dragapult. That does a lot, not gonna lie. He did expect me to make a defensive play there, though, which is good. I go for Hailstorm. If he's Weakness Policy, this is over. Oh, I did not do enough. Oh, no. That did not do enough. Yeah, I'm in trouble. Well, I definitely stay in with my Dragapult here. Oh, this is going to be so annoying to try to beat down. But his only Trick Room setter is weakened. And we burned several turns of Trick Room, which is important. How many turns do we have left? 2. So I think I attack this turn. What do I go for, though? Do I max water the Torkoal? He's going to max ground the Dragapult, that's for sure. Like he does that every day of the week. Yeah, I think I do so. If Torkoal has Yawn, this would be awful. I don't really have a better move to go for here either. I'll just quick darts. I mean, he could, in theory, he could try to... Yeah, I figured he'd do this. He's going to sack one of his setters. Yep, he's going to sack the hat. Which is, like, not great for me, but also not awful. Yeah, I do take this hit, which is important. Not well, but I do take the hit. So KO the hat here. And he didn't take the knockout, which is important. However, I think I really need to like get Torkoal, because this Dragon Darts is not going to do enough, unfortunately. It does do a good chunk though. That's important. That's important damage, I think. Can my Incineroar win this game by itself? I think the answer is no. Liepard, interestingly enough, comes in. Doesn't make too much sense to me, honestly. Because I'm definitely going for Max Guard here. I think I have to sack Dragapult. So I'll just do this. Maybe the Liepard does have like Foul Play or something. Jump Solo. Okay, he doesn't get another defense boost, which is important. Foul Play. Yeah, he does have Foul Play. Not great for me, but not the worst, honestly. The fact that I have Fake Out available is really important. And he actually doesn't have Grassy Terrain anymore either. That's also important. I also have my Berry, which I think will actually come up. So I intimidate these guys, yada yada. He's gonna have high horsepower. I think I have to do Fake Out Moonblast into the Rillaboom. Don't really see your way around this here. What was his most recently used move? Foul Play, so he can't call that with Copycat. So I'm gonna go ahead and I'll Fake Out and I'll Moonblast the Rillaboom. We don't really know too much about this Rillaboom. He could switch out the Rillaboom here. That'd be pretty bad for me. Yeah, he does. Incineroar is going to be very, very good here in the late game, but it's difficult to pin like exactly how I need it to be. Like he may just have too many Pokemon at this point. Fake Out. If this is U-turn, it's really bad. That's what I'm worried about. It is Foul Play, so that's not going to do very much to me. In fact, I think I'll just trigger my Berry. Yeah. I go for Moonblast here. Do important damage. Okay. I don't think a Moonblast plus Flare Blitz will KO this guy. So I need to determine, like, I can go for Hydro Cannon here into the Torkoal. For sure I can do that. But I don't know if that sets me up for a lose later. I don't think I can go for Earth Power, that's for sure. So do I go for Hydro Cannon? Maybe I do. Maybe I just have to. I feel like I'm going to put myself in the KO range, though, is the problem of everything. Is there any way around this? I think I definitely Burning Jealousy first. Because this covers a random switch-in. Okay. If I was Hydro Pump here, that would probably be better, but I'm not. Yeah, I think this is going to be an L. I had to do that because Earth Power would do more than Foul Play does. What is that, eject button? Oh, it's definitely over now. Yeah. Guess I should have Flare Blitzed if I didn't know. But now he has a very safe Fake Out plus high horsepower. Actually, I think Fake Out plus Grassy Glide is probably better for him. Because then you can just Grassy Glide and do that on the next turn. I have to hope he misses, I think, actually. Yeah, my win con here is him missing. Or him making a mistake. Actually, the Rillaboom is faster than me, so there's actually, I think, no way I can win anymore. He doesn't even need to go for Grassy Glide. Just Fake Out. You can also just, okay, Brick Break. That's funny. Alright. So it's over. I just can't believe that he was willing to attack me. That he was willing to go turn 1 without like doing the thing. I don't get it. I don't know what he was afraid of. Like he must have been K-Sib. That's the only thing I can think of. So if I somehow get 4 protects here, I will win. But obviously that is highly improbable. But I might as well play it out. No reason to just give up. The problem is, actually, even if I did pull this off, I don't think I could win. Because I don't think Blizzard would KO the Rillaboom, so I'd have to, like, freeze it or something. I don't know. Yeah, I don't get it anyway. Probably for the best. Yeah, he does have Copycat, and he was unable to copy my Protect there. So. Yeah, so he'd always have a Copycat Grassy Glide at the end of that as well. So tough loss there. Made a big mistake at Team Preview, I think, in not bringing Porygon 2, and because I would have had a really good shot of winning if I had like been able to undo Trick Room and max the Dragapult, but instead I was forced to max my Primarina in a situation where I was fighting against Rillaboom, and it just didn't do as well as it needed to. Okay, but thankfully that guy was pretty high rated, so I shouldn't have lost very many points for that. But this guy is running really offensive stuff. So Dragapult, Durant. It's my team, but with Durant over Rack, which is interesting. Rilla, Ensign, Prim, P2. Okay. So Rillaboom is really good in these matchups, I think. Maybe that's why he brought the Durant, which is funny if that was the reason. But I think Dragapult here is like pretty freaking phenomenal. Dragapult looks really, really good. Incineroar is also very good, I think. I'm even fine bringing it up front. Or maybe actually, no, I don't think I need to. I think I can bring Rillaboom and then I can switch into Incineroar. And then for my last Pokemon, I definitely don't want Terrakion here. I could bring Prim, but I think P2 actually makes a lot of sense. I like P2 here. Because P2, because he's likely going to Dynamax early, and then he's going to have limited methods of like actually dealing significant damage to my P2, unless he's also banded Rillaboom. So I don't actually know how to approach the mirror here. I think for Terrakion it's even harder, but he's with Prim and Ensign, which is great for me. Not gonna lie, I think this is pretty good. So he is pressured to use Fake Out onto my Rillaboom here. At least I would be. So he wants to Fake Out Rillaboom and he wants to Max Fairy my Dragapult. So where are my options around that? So I could switch. I don't think now is the time to go for a big play. He could also double target the Rillaboom, to be fair. But I think switching out into either P2 or Ensign. I think P2 makes a lot of sense. Maybe Ensign makes a little more sense. No, I think P2 makes a lot of sense. And I will U-turn. He probably... This is actually probably a dumb move. I really think he's going to Max Fairy the Dragapult. It makes so much sense to me because it would remove the terrain, it would do all that kind of stuff. And like, it seems to me pretty probable that I would go for Dynamax there. But he doesn't. He just goes for the fake out. Hopefully this isn't a Moonblast into a Rillaboom. That would be awful. Dazzling Gleam isn't great either. It's going to do a lot of damage. Not the worst though. So neither of us use our Dynamax too early, which is good. For both of us at least. So I think now I will go for a Thunderbolt into the Prim. Just put some chip on it. I'll go ahead and I'll U-turn the Incineroar. Prim was a good lead against this, I think. He would have, I think, went pretty far. Okay, he does switch out the Prim, so that's really good for me. He goes into Durant, so I'm going to get a nice and free U-turn into my Incineroar here. And so this would let him know all my Pokemon. I'm trying to think if that would be a bad thing. So I am Thunderbolting the Durant here. I could go for I could go into Dragapult and because going into Dragapult is nice because it would stop a Parting Shot, and then I have Max Dragon that I can go for. But I think I might again be a little bit too premature. I think I'm just going to go into Incineroar, play it a little bit safe, as well tell him all my Pokemon. But it'll still be pretty good. So. Also get to see whether or not the Incin is faster than my P2. Okay, the Incin is faster than my P2, so it's not slow, which is good to know. But this is fairly poor for him forward positionally wise. Yeah. Oh, I get a pair as well. That's really nice. My Incineroar is definitely not going to faint to this. Which is really good. I basically taken his choice to Dynamax Durant off the table. He is very, very unlikely to Dynamax a Durant anymore. So now I have a very, very safe... actually, I could go for Burning Jealousy, couldn't I? Yeah, I think I'm going to go ahead and Thunderbolt, actually, the Incineroar. I'm going to go ahead and Burning Jealousy. Because I think it's very... Actually, I don't really need to KO the Durant anymore, do I? Yeah, it's not really necessarily required. So I can throw a Thunderbolt. I think I'm going to Thunderbolt and a Parting Shot the Incineroar. See what he wants to do. Durant should still be faster than me. Goes for First Impression, ends up missing, which is really good for me. He goes for Parting Shot. So this is going to end up really bad for him, because now I'm going to get Rillaboom in, and I'm just going to U-turn back into my Incineroar. Perhaps the Thunderbolt on the Durant would have been slightly better, but he does go into Prim. So I get a nice hit on it. I can check for sure to see whether or not it's AV. That is not AV for sure. And this gives me a Parting Shot. So the Prim being weakened now obligates him, like he does not want to stay in. So I get to go into Rillaboom here. And I'm pressuring him very hard. Because he can no longer go for First Impression. It's very, 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 very probable, in my opinion, that he was going to switch out to Incineroar and protect the Primarina. I think that's like nearly 100% going to happen. So I'm just going to go ahead and Thunderbolt the Durant and U-turn the Durant. And what this does is, I'm glad I have U-turn and not knockoff, because otherwise I'd feel pressured into going for like Wood Hammer into Primarina and then potentially Dynamaxing. Primarina actually switches out into Incineroar. Same idea. I don't lose anything by this happening. My Rillaboom is going to be faster than a paralyzed Durant, so I'm going to get a U-turn into my Incineroar. Very safe. And I'm going to get a Thunderbolt onto the Durant. And I go into Incineroar. I could go Dragapult there, I think, without too much consequence, but I don't think it's quite time yet. This has been a really fun game. Durant goes for Iron Head. That's going to do some damage, but not too much. Yeah, I'm bulky. I go for Thunderbolt, which may take out the Durant. It does. So that's not great for me. It's not the worst thing ever, though. All my Pokemon are very healthy, which is important. And if he takes a KO here, then I get my Rillaboom very healthy. So that's good for me. He's also running out of resources to beat the Porygon 2 again. He doesn't really have great methods of dealing with it. I'm curious what his last is. Probably his own Rillaboom, if I had to guess. It is his own Rillaboom. Okay. So I believe that what I do here then is I go for, because I think I have Intimidate advantage. Yeah, I do. And this is also the last turn of Grassy Terrain, so I'm not sure if I Trick Room here. Oh, let's see here. I don't think I Trick Room here. I think probably what I do is I just kind of keep doing what I have been doing. I'm going to go ahead and Ice Beam, and I will just go ahead and Parting Shot the Rillaboom. Yeah, he does go for Fake Out into Incineroar, makes sense to me. Let's see if he goes for Superpower. Just goes for Knockoff. So Porygon 2 is no longer as much of a win con. However, seeing that he is Knockoff implies to me that well, he's definitely not banned, that's for sure. Oh, and I freeze the Rillaboom. Ooh, that's really important. Yeah, this guy hasn't really been catching any breaks. Sucks to be you. Yeah, and Grass is out for him as well. So he's in a world of trouble. He doesn't like fighting any of these Pokemon at this point. And Rillaboom being frozen is just... Like, Rillaboom isn't the biggest problem for me, since it just used Knockoff. That indicates to me that he's not Choice Banned, which would be the scariest thing that I'd be worried about. And he ends up just forfeiting. I can respect that. I definitely was always in the advantage there, because I still hadn't used my Dynamax and his board was very weakened. But, yeah. Not great for him, for sure. Okay, I think we'll probably split the recording at 10 battles. Because it looks like we're recording at about an hour 15, so we'll just go ahead and split at 10 battles. 1483, so that's good. I'd rather play against easy opponents. Unfortunately, this guy looks to have a real team, so that's not great for me. So Lapras, Dragapult, Mag, and Whimsicott. So Whimsicott in particular is kind of annoying. Don't really like facing down that Lapras. That Lapras looks pretty scary. Let me think. Okay, can I do Dragapult Terrakion here? I could, but it'd be kind of risky. The Lapras could outspeed my Terrakion. And that'd be pretty scary. I think I'd rather try to do P2 stuff. But then he's going to get really, really bulky. I could do like P2 Rillaboom with Incin and Dragapult in the back. Do I want Prim? Do I want Terrakion? Terrakion actually looks the best out of any of these, really. But then what do I Dynamax? I guess I could Dynamax the P2. Yeah, the one thing that I'm worried about here is how to stop the Trick Rooms, or the Tailwind stuff. Because I feel like he's just going to lead Whims Lapras over me. So this may be kind of a poor game plan. But I also don't really think I can do that much to P2 outside of Mag being Body Press, which almost certainly is. But I have my Incineroar for that, which is good. Okay, Rillaboom Dragapult, that's a pretty offensive lead. However, it's not too bad for me because of my guy in the back, because I have Incineroar. Pretty sure. Pretty sure I brought Incineroar. I am the faster Rillaboom, which is important. Down low, Chickeny special attack here. Good. That's very important because that'll help quite significantly with my Ice Beams. Go ahead and Trick Room, and I'll switch into my Incineroar. Pretty straightforward play. He could fake out the Porygon 2. U-turn would be something I'm a little bit more concerned about. However, I'm going to get my Trick Room, and I was really worried about the Whimsicott, so getting that out of the way straight up, I think, is going to be very valuable. He does just switch out into Mag. So he's going to get his Grassy Seed boost here, which is not great. I'm very worried about how to beat this thing, if I'm honest. Incineroar is good versus it, but I didn't bring my Dragapult, so I don't have anything from like Wallet. Not like that would even help. So he brought Mag, Dragapult, Rillaboom. He goes for knockoff straight away as well, removing my Violite, which is by no means ideal. However, he also doesn't really have very good switch-ins to Ice Beam plus Burning Jealousy, unless he also brought Incineroar, which he very well could have done. Yeah, this is where I wish I had high horsepower on my thing. I'm gonna Ice Beam the Rillaboom, and I'm gonna fake out the Mag. I don't like using my Trick Room turns like this, because it's not very efficient, but I don't want him to set up. I need to check my Burning Jealousy damage versus that as well. That would be important to know, because I don't know how much this does to a Magnezone. I also don't know how Magnezone EV their stuff as well. Okay, this is gonna be a lot of damage on Rillaboom, which is important. He could U-turn here, but this is good damage on Rillaboom. Okay, he's Assault Vest. That's good to know. We can't protect. Does U-turn. Burning Jealousy does approximately 50% to the Magnezone, which is really good. And I'm going to take advantage of it. I'm going to go ahead and just attack it here. He could go for the Body Press, but like he could go for a double target into my P2 here. That's not great for me, not going to lie. However, I'm putting on a lot of pressure here in my Trick Room, which is good. Magnezone also, oh, that did not do enough. Maybe I should use Flare Blitz. Body Press. This is going to do a good chunk to my Incineroar. Yeah, I think I'm going to get my berry out of it, but Flare Blitz does more to the Magnezone. So perhaps I should actually go for the Flare Blitz here. Actually, I don't think it does. Now that I look at it again. Yeah, they do roughly equivalent amounts of damage. Ice Beam is really good here. My Incineroar is pretty well useless at this point. I actually could max my Incineroar, not gonna lie. Could max my P2 as well. I have Terrakion in the back. Actually, Terrakion in the back is really good. That'll be one method of me beating this Magnezone. There's 2 turns of Trick Room left, which is good for me. I'm gonna go ahead and just go for a Burning Jealousy. He can KO my Incineroar here, but let's see what he switches into. Whimsicott, good. That's a knockout on an important Pokemon. I'm glad I went for Burning Jealousy there. Yep. Fortunately, won't ever burn the Magnezone in Trick Room, but Ice Beam off on the Whimsicott, which is really good as well. He also hasn't protected the Magnezone once, which is important. Body Press, probably into Incin. I probably get an Incin. Good. Actually, so I survived. Don't know if that's better or not for me here. I think I might rather be KO'd. There's Rillaboom again. I'm tempted to max my P2. Not gonna lie, because that would enable a KO on Rillaboom. Could be really important here. Well, he's gonna fake out my Incineroar though, right? But honestly, a KO on the Magnezone, or on the Rillaboom, and putting Chip on it might be better. I'm trying to think if I need to conserve my Incineroar for anything else. I wouldn't if I KO'd this Rillaboom here. So I think I'm just gonna go ahead and go for a Flare Blitz into the Mag. If he doesn't fake me out, then that'll be good for me. It's kind of awkward to Dynamax my P2 here. However, I don't think maxing Terrakion is going to be that good in the late game. I don't have my Eviolite anymore, but Dynamax should essentially restore the lost boom. So it'll be difficult for him to KO me here. He has not used his Dynamax yet. I don't anticipate him to this turn. Fake out probably into Incineroar. Yep, that should KO me. Okay, that's okay because I get the KO on Rillaboom. And let's see if he does have the Iron Defense. Iron Defense is what I'm worried about. Because he's going to send in Terrakion and go for Max Dragon. Which is problematic. Body Press, that shouldn't do that much to me. That does a lot to me, actually. I wish that didn't do that much. But putting more chip damage on the Magnezone is good. So I've got my Rillaboom, and I've got my Terrakion that I can send in here. I think Terrakion actually makes a bit more sense. And then Rillaboom later, because he's good. If I send in Rillaboom, he's going to max flying me, which would be annoying, I think. So I think I'll go into Terrakion. He doesn't know that I'm Sash. He probably can assume that I am. There should be a Max Dragon into my Terrakion, I would assume. However, I am weakening the Magnezone. I'm going to get a close combat off on this thing, that's for sure. I don't think he can stop me from doing that. I'm going to go for Max Ice into that. I'm going to go ahead and close combat the Magnezone. And, like, unless Magnezone Dynamaxes, it should go down. I don't anticipate, like, I guess Dragapult using Ally Switch here would be pretty bad, but that'd be the worst case. But close combat should knock out the Magnezone. It probably doesn't at -1, however, it will put it very, very low, I think, into KO range of Grassy Glide. And he may be inclined to double my Porygon 2 here as well. Okay, there's Dynamax. Should be the Dragapult. Yep. He is not protected all game. With his Magnezone, so I hope he doesn't decide to now. That's awful. Oh, that's not good. Especially if he's weakness policy Dragapult, it's over, I think. Airstream? Okay, that's not great either. Not gonna lie. Yeah. I don't think I can afford to sack my, like, I don't think I can afford to switch either. This KO, this would be super nice. Didn't. Don't be weakness policy. Okay. I actually didn't notice if he was Life Orb or not. Okay, I actually am still faster than the Magnezone. But he can change that if he wants to be faster. So I'm going to max Ice the Dragapult for sure. And I'm still going to close combat the Mag. Because he has to attack me with Dragapult. And Mag does not KO my PZ, so this should be okay. Oh, Phantasm is bad. Phantasm is bad. Okay, come on, P2. P2, you need to live this. Porygon 2, my brother. Brother Porygon 2, do not faint to this attack. Good work, P2. Okay. And that will pick up the KO on Dragapult. And Magnezone should not have anything that knocks out Rillaboom, and I've got Banded Superpower. So this should be a win. Whew. Very close, though. Magnazone's so scary. I was worried about it from turn 1. Perhaps I should have Flare Blitzed it once in Trick Room rather than just burning jealously, but this should be okay. He should not have anything that can knock out Rillaboom in one hit. Thunderbolt Para would probably be like the worst thing he could do to me. And he should be faster than me. He doesn't have a Trick Room mode. No, he doesn't, unless the Women's Guide is Trick Room. So here I go for Trick Room and Superpower. If, for whatever reason, I don't KO the Magnezone here. Oh, and he just gives up. If I wasn't banded, he could have done it. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe even just regular Grassy Glide would have been enough. Whew, okay. I think if at any point he went for Iron Defense in like one of those Trick Room turns, then I would have been in like huge trouble. So I guess he must not have it. But that's really good for me. Okay. Go ahead and continue battling. 1589 at 9 battles or 8 battles is very good. I think we're 7-1, and our win-loss was to a very high-ranked opponent, which is great. Keep bringing me the low ladder people. I'm fine with that. 1554, I can do that. Okay. Okay, Dusclops, Gorilla, Cinderace, one of the Urshifus, we don't know which one. Prim, Togekiss. Seems to me like this is a Dragapult Terrakion game. I think this is a Dragapult Terrakion game. What would he want Trick Room for? Just, I guess just the Prim, but I'll bring Rillaboom. And Incineroar makes no sense to me. If he brings, like if he Scarf Dark Urshifu, that could potentially be bad, but they're typically not Scarf, I think. But yeah, Max Ghost looks really good versus this team. So I think I'll do this. Do I want P2 here? No, not really. P2 is, I don't think would be good enough. I think I want the Incineroar for the Cinderace, and I want the Rillaboom for the Prim. That's a good picture. I like that picture. I don't recognize what language that is. That's cool as heck. So that is sick. I wonder what language that is. Huh. Okay, so I have a few options here. I'm tempted to just go for beat up. Honestly. I'm trying to think about what he can actually do about that. And then next turn I switch into... Yeah, he would 2KO me. So maybe it's not the play, especially because he could be banded. Switching into my Rillaboom is also not really strictly safe, though. Kind of like the idea of Max, Phantasm, Rock Slide into the Prim. I could Helping Hand as well. I don't think he's going to max, but I do think he will max. I'll just do this. This is actually probably a really dumb play in hindsight, because he's likely to max the Primarina. So I could have, like, you know, taken the KO on Rillaboom and Rock Slide I did, but I didn't do that. So I think this is probably ultimately a misplay. Because he's 100% gonna Grassy Glide my my Tarak. So maybe I probably should have actually just switched, like maybe double switched. I don't know. Yeah, this is a really poor play in hindsight, because it doesn't matter if I chip this thing. I'm gonna be put in such a bad spot now. Yeah, this is actually an Omega bad play. I should have doubled the Rillaboom. Yeah, he just went for Grassy Glide. This was so bad. Yeah, this is okay. Yeah, because that all that chip doesn't matter. Yeah, I'm gonna die unless if he kills the Terrakion, I'm okay, but he's gonna kill the Dragapult. Oh, interesting. Use Citrus. Okay. Rock Slide. Misses the Prim, which is annoying, but not that bad, honestly. Max Geyser. Okay, perfect. Perfect. Never mind. I made the best play possible. Alright. Yeah, he thought I would beat up. And to be fair, that, like, hard punch is beat up, but... Yeah. Okay, that worked out just fine. Alright, we Gucci. What do I lock into with my guy? Do I lock into Woodhammer? That's a good question. So, here I am 100% going for Max Fly into the Rillaboom, and I'm gonna Woodhammer or Grassy Glide the. Well, why wouldn't I? Grassy Glide would be better if I thought. Actually, I think Woodhammer is pretty well always better. Like, I'll take some recoil, but it's not the end of the world. So now I get a Max Airstream. I guess Woodhammer. It's still not great. That still should have been like. This play would have still been way better if I had gone for a fly into the Rillaboom and just taken that out, because then no, maybe not, because I wouldn't have had Rillaboom on the field this turn. Max Guard, that's okay. The only thing that he has that can protect the Prim here is the Togekiss in the back. Which, to be fair, would be pretty annoying for me. However, he just wasted a turn of that, and that's why I would Woodhammer as well. Because if he sends in Togekiss, then that would be poor for me. Well, we know he's Citrus, so he may not even KO my Dragapult. Having a speed boost is nice. Let's see what he goes into. Dusclops? Oh, brother. Oh, brother. Yeah, you're in trouble, brother. Definitely Phantasm that guy. The question is, do I Woodhammer... I think I actually Woodhammer the Dusclops as well. Because it's decently probable he goes for Ally Switch here, number one. Number two, if he gets Trick Room up. Actually, Trick Room wouldn't even be that bad for me, would it? But he also has to KO my Rillaboom this turn. Maybe I should Woodhammer that guy. No. I think I'm gonna do this. I think it's decently likely he goes for Ally Switch. Oh, okay, he didn't. Yeah, I barely miss out on the KO, but that's fine. The Prim is going to be very weakened. It's taken 2 drops here, and so he either has to KO my Dragapult. Does that kill him with Woodhammer? So he can definitely KO my my guy here, but then I'm going to get Fake Out Phantom Force if he does so. And if he does this, then I'm just going to kill his Prim with Woodhammer. And what's his final Pokemon? It's either going to be Urshifu, Cinderace. Cinderace would be awful for me. Urshifu, Cinderace, or Togekiss. Togekiss would also be terrible. If it's Togekiss, I lose. I don't think I can win. So perhaps I should have knocked it out. The fact that he sent that in first as well is kind of sketchy. I think I'd probably lose this. Nope, that looks like Urshifu. Okay. It's Water Shifu. I should outspeed Water Shifu. Yep, his Dynamax is over. This is where locking into Grassy Glide would have been better for me. So I will go ahead and Fake Out this guy. And I'll click Woodhammer on this guy. Yeah, for sure I'll do this. Because this is going to break their Urshifu Sash if it has it. Okay, just go for Protect. Does he also have Protect on that guy? He does. Okay, not ideal for me, but not the worst either. I don't think it really matters, per se. I'll go ahead and I'll Flare Blitz this guy. And I'll still Woodhammer this guy. I think that's the play. I think I still win this, but I may not due to recoil. But I am faster than the Rillaboom, which is important. I think he has a close combat. Oh, it's Dark Shifu. I didn't even realize. I didn't even realize it was the dark one. I thought it was the water one. Okay, I should be good then. Actually, he probably has Sucker Punch, now that I think about it. So if he does have Sucker Punch, then I need to go for, well, he's not Life Orb. I don't want to put myself in KO range is the thing. Of anything, so I think I'll just use Burning Jealously and win him. And if he does have Sucker Punch, we should be okay. This is actually really stupid of me. I should have calced to see whether or not Close Combat actually KOs the Incineroar. But I guess I didn't, so because I could have gone for Parting Shot there potentially as a play, but okay, he did go for the Wicked Blow, but this should KO. This should definitely KO. I'm an Incineroar. That's a 120 base power. Yeah, okay. Whew, alright. A little bit scary there since I messed up the typing of the Urshifu. Oh, genius. Just looked at it and we're like, yeah, it looks like Water Shifu to me. Epic genius, DaWoblefet. And that's 9 battles, so this is the final battle that I want to do for this stretch. We'll go ahead and pause it. I'll probably eat some lunch. Come back and do some more. Danny at 1526. Ooh, cool team. Okay. Hydreigon, Prim, Pharaoh, Braviary, Arc, and Dusclops. So I don't like playing against Ferrothorn with this team. I think it's really hard. However, I also don't see any answers to Dragapult Terrakion. I'm really gonna bring Incineroar, and I think I'd bring Rillaboom. The scariest thing here would be like Scarf, Tailwind, Braviary. That's the thing I'm kind of most worried about here. But outside of that, I kind of just, I think, body him. With this, like if he leads poorly, like if he leads Dusclops into this, he's gonna lose. Braviary, Hydreigon. I am worried about Scarf Tailwind. I am so worried about Scarf Tailwind here. Yeah, I have no way of telling either. Shoot. I don't really have any great switch-ins either, if it is Scarf Tailwind. I think I can still safely Dynamax Terrakion here. And go for Max Rockfall into Braviary. Yeah, I'll do that. And just in case it's not this, I'll just do this, something like that. I think this is okay. I really expect it to be Scarf. And he's gonna like Scarf Draco Meteor my, or excuse me, not Scarf. Well, he could be Scarf Hydreigon, I suppose. But I expect it to be Scarf Braviary with Tailwind. I've seen this set before, it's nothing dumb, but this is okay. So this does one of two things. So if he's not Scarf on either of these guys, then I will just get a KO immediately. And if he has Scarf on one, I'll immediately find the Scarf, which is great. He did Dynamax one of these guys. Which one is it? Braviary, maybe? Maybe it's Braviary? If it is Braviary, then I think he really messed up. Unless it's also Scarf Hydreigon. Well, if it was Scarf Hydreigon, it's no longer a Scarf Pokemon. It is now a Dynamax Pokemon. Max Dragon here is actually pretty bad now that I think about it. It is Scarf Tailwind. Yeah, this isn't good. Because he's gonna knock out my my guy in one hit. I'm glad I didn't max that one, but I gave him a free switch in as well, and he's gonna max dragon again the following turn. So my Terrakion is always going to be very weakened. However, I don't know how much better I could have done in that board state, outside of maybe switching to like Prim if I had it. But I didn't bring it versus this squad. I was a little bit afraid of the Ferrothorn. Okay. It is an important KO though, but not having Prim here is not great. Make a really great call that I wouldn't bring it. So I'm gonna go ahead and send in Incineroar here. Incineroar will take the hit. Oh, his own Prim is awful. Oh man, he keeps like this is annoying. Well, what does he do here? What does he do here? Does he like, cause I can fake out and knuckle. I can fake out and I kind of like fake out and knuckle, honestly, and then next turn protect and yeah, and then next turn protect and parting shot. This will lose me the game to Ferrothorn, but okay, I do get the fake out off. That's important chip damage. Wormwind, I presume that would be into Terrakion, yeah. So that doesn't do very much damage, which is good. It lowers my attack, but at this point, I'm kind of like accepting that that's going to happen. Prim flinches before Terrakion, which is also not ideal in the slightest. Actually, it doesn't matter if Prim flinches before Terrakion. It just means the Prim is offensive, which I already kind of knew by the damage. So he's, I imagine this is probably like Specs, maybe? Specs would make a lot of sense to me. So you can go for like Specs Hyper Voice here, which I assume Incineroar lives. But if he has like an arm with like Hydro Pump, that would be pretty bad for me. So let's go ahead and Max Guard. Use Helping Hand Max Guard to be optimal. If I ever need to use my 16 other protects. Because, in my opinion here, he wants to double target the Terrakion, because Incineroar does very little damage. But it's hard to take out Terrakion because of the Sand Boost. That's why I think it's so good. Ah, he did! Come on, brother! What was the point of that? Jerk. Hydro Cannon. Oh! That might give me a way out. Yeah, if you're guys, I'm just Hydro Cannon anyway. Okay. I go Rillaboom and I assert that this person lacks Ferrothorn. That is my play. Okay, the question is actually, do I go for Helping Hand or not into the Hydreigon? I should have calced that before sending this guy out. That was very silly of me. Grassy Glide, according to this, does 39 to 47, which I don't think is quite enough. It looks like it's about 50, so I'm going to go for the Helping Hand boost as well. And I have to do this because of Tailwind. Otherwise, I just close combat, obviously. And if he is Ferrothorn in the back, it's over. I can't win. Outside of critting him, of course. I can crit him. Help, 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 help. Okay. Oh, he does... You jerk. What's the point of that? Like, what does it matter if you protect there? Tailwind should be over now. And what can he potentially have in the back here? He can have Arcanine. He can have Dusclops. He can have Pharaoh. I would have just been hard into Arcanine if I had it, so I'm going to go ahead and Grassy Glide the Prim and Close Combat the Hydreigon. It should KO even at -3. I mean, I'm a Terrakion, for crying out loud. And he's not Scarf. We know that because he protected. Or because he's Scarf Protect. In which case I will... I mean, it doesn't matter. I really do expect this to be Ferrothorn in the back, so I think we're all just waiting for the inevitable. These are probably taking L here. This should KO. Yeah, okay. Alright. Unless Rillaboom is like the GOAT and like crits the Ferrothorn a bunch of times as well. But this, I mean, if it's Arcanine, maybe. If it's Arcanine, I actually think I can do... Oh! Oh! I can do this! Why didn't he switch last turn? That was a misplay. Okay. Yeah. No, this is doable. This is very doable. Do I Rock Slide here? He can't KO me with one hit. I think I Rock Slide. I thought about protecting, but I think this is doable. If he's offensive, he has to lock into Choice Band. I feel like I can't remember. I feel like I'm so dumb. I don't remember if the Primarina or the other guy had. Oh, that's doing a lot of damage, brother. I hit this too. That also is doing a lot of damage, brother. Flare Blitz? Oh, brother, I don't think that KOs my Terrakion. Yeah, you went for the Rillaboom. I'm not even dead. Oh, you ain't even a berry, brother. I'm gonna go for Close Combat here. Because if he has Extreme Speed, which he doesn't, yeah, I win. Alright. I was like, yeah, my game plan versus Ferrothorn in the back is gonna be, like, I'll protect my Terrakion, then I'll go for Grassy Glide, because he's gonna go for Body Press, and then I'll go for Grassy Glide, and then I'll go for Close Combat and hope to crit him, and then maybe the combination of 3 Grassy Glides plus -3 Close Combat can also do it, but yeah. Worked out pretty well. Also, I just locked into another battle, so I suppose we get a bonus battle at 16-16. We've been doing really well. I think we've only taken 1 loss so far, which is of course expected at the bottom of the ladder. But we're doing pretty well. Alberto at about the same rating as I am. That's a good way to finish things out. Corviknight. Corviknight's hard for this team. Raichu. Prim. Incin. Urshifu. And Rillaboom. Yeah, I don't really know what the best way to go about this is. I definitely bring Rillaboom. I definitely bring Incin. The problem is, I think you're supposed to bring P2 into this, but I don't know how P2 will actually be able to help me. I think I'm gonna have to play Beat Up and try to just KO all his Pokemon. Raichu is annoying though, because he can like nuzzle me. And if I try to do it with Terrakion, maybe Terrakion is actually not the play. What if I do Terrakion? What if I do these guys and then I have Porygon 2 in the back? I think that actually makes a lot of sense too. I might try this. Because then I bring both of my Pokemon that are good versus Corviknight. Instead of relying on, like, me lol sweeping him. He's 16-10. He shouldn't just let me beat him up and, like, 6-0 him. He probably has a little bit of intelligence behind him. Corviknight and Urshifu. Okay, we're gonna check to see. That looks like Dark Urshifu to me. Dark Shifu. Yeah, it is Dark Shifu. So I think I'm gonna go ahead and switch out to Incineroar and U-turn, because I think it's very probable that this is so bad for me. Like, honestly, I think leading Terrakion into this would have been better than just trying to beat up through him, but it probably wouldn't have worked. Yeah, this is not good, because like okay, he does switch out into Incineroar. Yeah, makes sense to me. So I get the slower switch. He's Scarf. Okay. That's important to know. So yeah, I'll need to make sure I check that calculator on. So I'll get my stats lowered here. Alright, I do intimidate the Incineroar, which is good. Let's see, faster. Oh, he Dynamaxes Corviknight. Perfect. I'm fine with that. I'm fine with that. Because Corviknight always boosts with its max boost, so I can get a Burning Jealousy off. Yeah, it's good to know that this is Scarf or Shifu. I wonder if it has to be Adamant to outspeed Dragapult. That did a good chunk of damage. You should know I banded off of that. Let's see here. 149. 1.5. 223. How fast is Dragapult? I think that's slower than Dragapult. Dragapult is 213. So it does outspeed me. It can outspeed me with just Adamant. So I'm 100% going into Porygon 2 here. And I'm going to go ahead and click, this should give me special attack. Yep, okay, that's good. See where he goes. Airstream, perfect. Perfect. That's totally fine with me. And now I go for Burning Jealously and, I think Recover. I'm trying to debate whether or not I Trick Room, but I think Recover makes more sense. I think he's probable to either Fake Out or Parting Shot here. I don't think he'll do much else. Fake Out into that guy. Perfect. That's fine. That's fine. Go for a boosting move? Yes. Perfect. Perfect. Now I get a really, really important Burning Jealousy off. If he's Lumberry, that wouldn't be good, but he doesn't have to be Lumberry. If he's not Lumberry, I'm going to be in great shape. Okay, Burn. Is Lum? That is Lum. Okay. Oh, it's Weakness Policy, actually. Don't know if that's net gain for me or not. I also don't know if I should sack my Porygon 2 here. I think I'm, well, if I don't sack Porygon 2, then I switch into my Dragapult and take a ton of damage. Because he's going to double up my Porygon 2. He has Scarf Close Combat in the back, which is already going to be problematic. So perhaps I just recover and see what happens. Okay, he goes for Steel Spike. I think he's just going to try to take a KO, which he will be able to do, unless Flare Blitz doesn't KO for some reason. I do think he is at -1. Taunt. That's smart. So another move would have been preferable there, but it's not the end of the world. We also know that he's Steel and Flying on this course. Okay. Do I go Rillaboom? Rillaboom and U-turn to Dragapult? That gives me a lot of damage on Dragapult. What do I need this thing for? I need it potentially for a lot of his Pokemon, actually. I'm curious how much it does to Urshifu. But I think I go Rillaboom first. Let me check how much my Rillaboom does to Urshifu. Grassy Glide, Banded Grassy Glide does 72%, so I need to chip it first. So I strongly suspect he's going to double target the Rillaboom here with something or other. So I'm going to go ahead and just switch Incineroar. I think it's pretty safe. I'll switch Rillaboom to Incineroar. And then I will go ahead and just Thunderbolt the Corviknight for some chip. Maybe I should Thunderbolt the Incin. Honestly. Because if he because that would be good for my damage later, but I think perhaps Thunderbolting the Corviknight is better. Getting the burn on Corviknight is really valuable. He could be Roost, but it'd be hard for him to still KO me. Okay, he does go for Roost. So Thunderbolt won't do very much to him, but it will do some damage. He does go for Parting Shot into my P2. So he's ignoring my P2, which is pretty smart from him, I think. So I should have Thunderbolted that slot, because I would have put the damage on Urshifu, I think, that I need. However, since he's used his Dynamax very early and did not get very much out of it, my Incineroar, like all my Pokemon are very healthy. So that's very good for me. Corviknight will be worn down by this burn as well. I think I'm going to go ahead and just Fake Out and Thunderbolt the Urshifu. Yeah, put some chip on it for Grassy Glide. My other play that I was thinking about was potentially Fake Out Urshifu and switch to Rillaboom. But I like this play a little bit better. Yeah, Brave Bird isn't going to do very much to me. It definitely won't knock out P2. No, never. It will knock me out with the subsequent one, but it's less important to me. I know that my Incineroar will take this pretty comfortably. I need to check Grassy Terrain turns. Those are pretty important right now. We're going to use Taunt is down. Okay, Grassy Terrain is done. That's good. So I think he's going to like 100% go for close combat here, but then that opens up my my other guy. So like he can close combat my Incineroar and do a ton of damage to me, but then I get my Dragapult in. And he does go for the Wicked Blow. Which is not terribly surprising to me. So I can't safely go into Dragapult now. Oh, Bulk Up. I don't think I can beat that. Not with P2 dead. Because I don't really have a great way of, like, shipping the Corviknight. I can't weaken it at all, ever. I guess I go into Rillaboom. I guess, like... Actually, I can go Dragapult. And then go into Incin and just try to beat him that way, I guess. But it's not ideal by any means. However, his Corviknight also isn't that bulky. Let me calc how much... I will auto go into Incin here. So how much does Urshifu actually do to Dragapult? It will crit me. Okay, let's go look at Blow. 2. Adamant. The Wicked Blow. It'll like nearly KO me, so I have to Fake it out if I do this play. But I could also go Rillaboom. But then you're just going to get a bulk off of it. Maybe I can Timer win on the Corv. Yeah, I might try to go for Timer win. A shame that I don't know when I started this battle. Okay. So I do fake out and max fly into the Urshifu. Max fly, he's almost certainly going to go into his Incineroar here. 'Cause that's what I would do. Oh, he didn't. Okay, that's good. He respected me by going for a Flare Blitz or something. I should be taking more time each turn. That was pretty rushed. Because I think the only way I beat this Carbonite at this point is timer stall. He still knows his last Pokemon yet either. Like if it's Prim, then we're gonna be in trouble too. Prim isn't the worst. That's not good either. Yeah, P2 dying. I didn't think it'd be bulk up. I guess I don't know what I thought it was gonna be. Instant comes out. I think at this point, maybe I start going for crits on the Carbonite. Yeah, I definitely think I Airstream and Flare Blitz here. Because he might like double into his Mariner or something stupid like that. Which would be annoying for me. Him being weakness policy is annoying. Not having an attack that can actually beat this thing is also kind of annoying. Yeah, he recognized pretty quickly that Carbonite was going to be his way of beating me. Yep, fake out. Airstream. Get your game on, get your toaster, don't be citrus. Come on, super citrus. Or safety goggles or something. Taunt, so your safety goggles, right? Good. Alright. Bulk up is still not good, but... okay, I should go for max Dragon here, because I don't want to miss the KO. And once I lock in here with Incineroar, do I go for Flare Blitz? Do I go for Burning Jealously? To be fair, like it's going to take him a while to beat my Incineroar. I think I should Parting Shot, honestly. Because at this point, I'm timer stalling the Corviknight. I'm not actually beating it. So I'll just Parting Shot the Corviknight. Okay, Swarmwind. This will let me switch out for anyone who is curious. So I'm gonna have like I don't know how boosted he is. I think he's plus 4 burned. Yeah. Okay. So let me go ahead and check Rillaboom, how much it takes from a Corviknight that has... I don't know if it should be max attack or not on this kind of build, but I'll just give it like a lot of attack. So plus 4, and it has it's burned. Brave Bird still KOs Rillaboom comfortably, so I'll have to play this cautiously. I do think I take all my time here though. I might run out of your time, but yeah, I do this actually. 4, 3, 2, 1. Mash, 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 mash. Okay. It's like I still have lots of ways to stall this game out. It's not over by any means. If he wasn't weakness policy, if he was actually Lum, then I could have done this, but it is his own real boon. Okay. Yeah, at this point, I don't know what to do to actually win. We're running low on opportunities here. I'll go ahead and attempt to do something cool, but I'll do like Phantom Force, and I will. Oh, you turn him if he lets me. Don't think he will, but. Fake out. Yep. Surprise. Phantom Force. Where'd he go? This should actually KO me if I did my calc right. Yeah, he has too much offense at this point in the game. Three minutes left. Okay. I think I go immediately into Incineroar. The problem here is I don't think I can actually like win on time. Because in order to do that, I would have to like, okay, there's 3 minutes left, right? I'll go Incin. Because I don't want to run out of your time. And I'll always have quite a bit of time at the end here. Okay. Oh, I'm nearly out of your time. Okay, I actually have to attack him. So I'll do Fake Out. Yeah, I actually have to input my moves. That's a shame. Okay. Phantom Force. There's a lot. So yeah, don't knock me off, please. Horsepower. Yeah, he knows what he's doing at this point. Yeah, at this point, actually, there's probably no way for me to win. I'll go for Dragon Darts and Burning Jealously, and we'll just try it. But actually, I think I Flare Blitz here. Actually, I think I should have Burning Jealousy, but yeah, I definitely should have Burning Jealousy. Actually, maybe not. This takes extra time. Brave Bird. Okay, don't KO my Incineroar, and don't. Okay, Incin. Yes, Incin. Okay. If he didn't high horsepower here, 60 seconds. $53 seconds left. Okay, I Flare Blitz. There's not much time left, buddy. I don't remember what I do here. Do I take all my time? 27, 26, 25, 24, 23. I don't have enough your time. I don't know if what happens. I think I win if I just don't input anything. Oh, I'm so dumb. I wish I knew this for sure, but I for sure click this. I think this is what I'm supposed to do. I think I win this. I think I win this. Yes! Let's go. Get mished, kiddo. Oh! Yes! Woo! Alright, that is an excellent way to end that battle. Alright, well, if you enjoy that sort of content where I waste all the time to try to stall my opponent out of what would otherwise be a win for them, leave a like and comment down below. Oh, that felt so good. Yes! Alright, until next time, have a good one.